When it comes to employer branding, PR, media relations, communications are so crucial when it comes to controlling the messaging that you want with regard to your perception as a company out there, as a hiring organization. But it's also crucial because of how it affects both the candidate experience and the employee experience. So PR has a function of kind of catering to all aspects of an employer brand. And when it comes to PR and media relations, I mean, it starts just as small as monitoring opportunities in the press where key leaders at your organization can send out a message and hopefully get a pickup that way, all the way through to publishing surveys and outlooks and different ways that you can really get your name and your company in the press attached to a message that your company really wants to attach itself to, just as a function of saying something interesting. And so when it comes to media relations and PR, the reason why it's crucial for employer branding on the candidate experience side is just imagine yourself as a job seeker. The first thing that you're going to do, and it's something that we actually build an indicator around when it comes to our credit scoring system. How does your brand perceived in the media, and how does it look from just a candidate searching for your company? So let's say they type in ABC company, your company, into Google. What comes up? Is it sentiment-wise generally positive? Is it neutral? Is it negative? How are you controlling the messaging in the media around your company? Because that has a great impact on the perception of your company, and then also impacts things like the level of talent that you can attract, your time to hire, your cost per hire, and those kinds of things. And then when it comes to the employee experience, I mean, everybody wants to work for a company that's in the news a lot for positive reasons, regardless of kind of what it is about that the media is covering. I mean, just the fact that, for example, if you work for Uber and Uber's in the news a lot, you get to go to your Thanksgiving party or your year-end party and tell your family and friends, look, I work for Uber, for example, and they'll know who it is. And that just, it's like this circle or spiral of just positive energy around people knowing where you work. It becomes probably a better place to work as a function of that. And there's just general positive energy. So it's important from an employee and a morale and a kind of a staff morale perspective to be controlling what's out there in the media as well, because it impacts the employee experience. And so you can see then how being able to put messages out into the media, stories and different levels of coverage to where you can control the messaging is important as it comes, as it relates to your employer brand, and then greater than that, just your perception in the general public around who you are as an employer, who you are as a company. Another great reason to tap into PR and communications for employer branding is that you can start to build reputations and personal brands around key members of your organization, spokespeople, so to speak. People typically attach themselves to people more than they do brands and companies. So if you get somebody who is acknowledged as a thought leader in your industry or in business in general, and they work for your organization and you're doing a good job of controlling messaging when it comes to PR and communications in the media around that one individual, people will attach to that individual and want to come to work at your company because they want to work for that individual. And so again, this ties into your ability to attract the level of talent that you probably want. It lowers your cost per hire, it lowers your time to hire, and generally has a positive impact when done correctly across all aspects of the employer brand and the key metrics that you place, especially when it comes to things that are actually financial based, like time to hire and cost per hire. So definitely a good idea to employ PR and communications for employer branding because of all the positive aspects that you can draw from it across so many different angles and areas of the employer brand.